my passion is women economic empowerment. So I find myself in spaces where I really not necessarily advocate out there, but the work that I'm doing is ensuring that women are included, women are represented, women are empowered and enabled, just making sure that the environment is conducive for women to do business and thrive. So
Good day and welcome to another session of Women in Leadership with Vee. Women in Leadership with Vee is brought to you by Diversity SA. Diversity SA is a management consulting company in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And for this episode, I'm excited to have my colleague, a strategist in the DEI industry. And I'm excited to have these conversations because I'm interested in the conversations. I think let us start. Let us go through, let us go to the interview. Who is Zim? Or Zimkhitha? Zimkhitha.
Firstly, before I answer that, hello everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me here. So Zimkhitha is a mother, a daughter, a sister, an aunt, and truly an introvert who just loves to see people become what they were destined to be.
That's great. That's great.
And I'm a child of God. I can't leave that one out.
Yes. Okay. And that's important to be centered. You have got so many roles and you are in so many platforms. How do you balance your professional with your personal life?
Well, what really helps me is I've got a support system around me because truly I cannot do it by myself. So my family grounds me. And when I say my family, I mean my siblings, my parents, and they help me. I'm not doing this parenting journey on my own. They are there to assist me. And then with the career world or the business world, trying to balance all that, they helping ground me. And also I think also what has helped me all along is learning to become present, learning to be present where you are, because it was a challenge. Being a single mom or being the full-time parent on your own. I don't want to say a single parent because I'm not a single parent. We're co-parenting, and also there's my parents that are assisting and my siblings. Yeah. So, but being the only person who is a full-time caregiver, when there's no other person to help you, taking the kids to school and whatever. I found that in as much as, let's say, if I go to the office and I come back, even when I'm at home, I'm at home, but I'm busy in front of my laptop and all of that. So I had to learn really to be present. Especially there was a time when I was even homeschooling my kids. It was a lot. But my kids have taught me, or they ground me. They've sort of, it was a learning experience for myself as well, that be present and also do take breaks. As a result, now I really cannot work on weekends. My body just refuses to open a laptop.
And that's interesting because sometimes we are there sitting with the kids, but we are not there.
But you are not there.
Yes.
You are thinking as you are there cooking, you are thinking, okay, I still need to do this proposal, I still need to do this. And also, when you're balancing even homeschooling, you have to make sure that their work is done and all of that. So I had to.
That's true.
In fact, it was them that said, you know what, you need to be present and also do take time out. Then I had to learn to take time out.
Wow, that's good advice.
Yeah, because I used to work Saturdays, Sundays.
You get home and you still open the laptop.
Yes. So
yes.
I really had to learn to take a break.
That's good advice. Oh,
Mm.
thank you. Your work currently as CEO of Women in Mining Business, what does it entail?
Well, WIMBIZ is all about women. It's about empowerment of women in mining business or women-owned businesses and entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Because there's another organization called WIMSA, which focuses on women in mining. It's Women in Mining South Africa, but in the workplace. So WIMBIZ, we are all about the advocacy or making sure inclusion and participation of women in mining entrepreneurs or women mining businesses. So our work really involves the advocacy for that inclusion, and also just making sure that our members are compliant, ready to do business with corporates or with the government, and also just making sure that they are building sustainable mining businesses.
Okay. Okay. So mining is a male-dominated industry. How do you then encourage women to come in and have businesses maybe in mining operations rather than just mining support?
Look, it's not an easy thing because mining is not like you wake up and you decide to sell apples, but I won't say we win that, but the success is in working in collaboration with the established mining companies, and also with working with government. Because what then we do is, or the work that we're doing is, those who have started on the journey, just making sure that number one, compliance, and number two, that they understand the mining value chain, so that also they know where they can participate. And also another thing that we are focusing on this year is digitalization in mining.
Okay.
So what we'd love to see our members understanding the value chain and also how to digitalize in the space.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, your women empowerment or women business empowerment, it's not your first job that you've been doing that. You also you were involved in Plus. Tell us a little bit about the Plus experience.
Okay, so Plus, it was a business network, an LGBTI business network / LGBTI Chamber of Commerce. So the work I was doing there is almost the same as what I'm doing at WIMBIZ. It was more about ensuring the economic inclusion, participation, and development of LGBTI-owned businesses. So that's what we were basically doing, making sure that they are included, making sure that also they are fit, they are business ready to engage with corporates, to do business with corporates.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. You are a DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion strategist. And I think since you started this conversation, you've talked about inclusion of women, inclusion of LGBTIQ plus inclusion. What does your role as a DEI strategist entail?
For me, it is my passion is women economic empowerment. So I find myself in spaces where I really not necessarily advocate out there, but the work that I'm doing is ensuring that women are included, women are represented, women are empowered and enabled, just making sure that the environment is conducive for women to do business and thrive. So that's the work that I do.
And that is important because once you support a woman business, a woman will support so many other people in the family. You always get into these difficult conversations. I also love difficult conversations.
Yeah.
So let's talk about one difficult conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You advocate for menopause inclusion in the workplace. What is that, and why do we never hear about it in normal conversations or in everyday conversations?
Look, as a DEI strategist or DEI professional, I came across this. I love dealing with or addressing issues that are not talked about. So when I came across menopause inclusion, even period leave, when I saw that there are companies that are doing period leave, they're giving out period leave, because we don't know the struggles that women go through. And I also love neurodiversity in the workplace. So when I came across menopause in the workplace and started researching how are we faring in South Africa, and I saw that
We're not even talking
we're
about
not
it.
even talking about it.
Yes.
Then it just became something that I'm keen on. I am not menopausing, but I just found the topic, or I just found it so interesting. Also when you're reading about what women go through, um, it's amazing. I remember at my workplace when I used to work back in the day, there was a woman that we really hated her. We really, we would call her names because she would make life miserable for you. And I remember this one colleague at one time was like, no, she needs to go and get her hormone therapy, whatever. At the time,
Hormone
it did not.
replacement.
Yes, at the time, it did not make sense to me. And when you look back, you're like, oh man, okay, we call people names because we don't know what they are going through. Yet, if we know, if it's something that is talked about, then at least I know how to deal with you. And in some cases, you will be labeled as somebody who's not serious about your work. Yet it's because we don't understand. When you find out that women, some of them, while they're presenting, they get a brain fog and they can't remember a thing that they would. Imagine you are presenting to executives and your
And you
mind
forget.
just goes blank.
Oh my goodness. But for someone who's not going through the experience, how do you advocate for it? What do you tell people, or what do you want people to know about it?
Look, for me, it's all about exposing whatever information is there and also giving platforms to people that know what they're talking about. For example, there's a lady who just recently released a book, The Perimenopausal Globetrotter. She experienced menopause in her early 30s. And
That's early?
it is, and she didn't know what was going on with her life. And she went through a lot, only to find that it was menopause. So I do work with her, or I do refer people to her, and I give away her books. I tell people, so by giving voice or creating platforms where people that are doing the work can really amplify the narrative. And
Okay.
also because I talk a lot or deal a lot with corporates within the DEI space, I then tell them about, what, I always sneak in menopause inclusion conversations there.
Okay.
And then I say, oh no, there's a lady called Oli that does this work. You know.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Let's come to financial exclusion, because women and money and gender, it looks like we cannot go together. What can you tell us about financial inclusion for women?
Well, it's still about women and inclusion. I found myself being drawn to financial inclusion, just like I was drawn to menopause inclusion. And then we started last year, we had an event called Hair Economy, which is, at first, it was a dialogue on women, gender, and financial inclusion. But the challenges that are there, and it was more focused on the financial sector, inclusion of women And through that, now we're going to be introducing a series of webinars where now we are going to be practical. From the feedback that we got from the event, it's going to be practical, where we're teaching women about investments as well, how to structure your policy. Because we've got great relationships with these with the likes of Easy Equities. So really, it is about empowering women.
Okay.
It is really about ensuring that women can fend for themselves. And especially here in South Africa, a bulk of responsibility in raising the kids, and it lies on the woman's shoulder.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true.
So in that, you trying to empower them, help them change their lives, or help them create legacies for their kids and for their families.
Yeah, definitely. Financial inclusion, it's important. Let's come back to you.
Okay.
Your future plans. What is on your bucket list?
Oh, my bucket list. It is me going back and finishing my MBA, because the first time I did it, I completed all the modules.
The classroom work.
Yes, and I think I stopped on chapter 3 and chapter 4. I just could not. It was like, I don't know. It just, as I was trying to do my assignment, there was a block. I just could not. And because at that time, it was also transitioning from another province to another province, different family structure, because it was after a divorce, and I just put everything on hold. But it is something that I definitely want to go back and finish. Yes. And also another thing on my bucket list, I want to go back to the IT space. I've got a diploma in financial information systems.
Oh.
So I want to.
Oh, so that's why now you're merging the women in mining, digitalization. That's great.
Yes.
Okay.
And the financial inclusion, where it all, comes together.
Linked together,
so beautifully.
Yes. Okay.
So I want to go back behind the desk and like really seriously relearn, what's happening out there, because we can't ignore the fact that AI is here. We can't ignore that we have to digitalize. I was at a presentation in November, and the lady was talking about digitalization in the mining, and she was like, guys, within where you are, digitalization, it does not matter whether you are not in mining or whatever. We cannot ignore that is where we are going. Earlier on we had a conversation about electric cars and all of that. It is all part
and we
of
thought it was far, and it's here.
It's here. Yes.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that I want to do as well. And also, I would love to be part of a fellowship, a women empowerment fellowship kind of thing. I'm always searching for like a 12-month program or 3-year programs, the ones that are offered by the likes of Yale, Harvard, and whatever.
And go there.
Yes. Yes, I want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, anything crazy in your bucket list? Like out of this world?
Look, I don't know, Oh, yes. Crazy is mounting. I don't want to say Mount Kilimanjaro, but I would love to summit any. Every year I keep on telling myself, when this is going to be the year that I start training towards it. But then when you hear stories of how many people don't make it, they
say it's a small percentage.
Like,
let's
hey,
say,
guys, do I really want to do this thing? So that's my crazy, And because I found out, I'm a stuck person. I'm really a stuck-up person. I don't have fun like other people. So I'm still trying to define what is fine for me. What is fun for me? What is fun for Zimkhitha, and try to loosen up. So
I think 2020 5?
Uh-huh.
Not this year, next
Next
year,
year. Yeah.
it's your year. We're going to climb that mountain. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to die, I'm not saying you're going to die, when you die at the time, how would you want to be remembered?
Firstly, as a loving and supportive parent, because I think that's my first calling, is to those two daughters. I know I did not bring them here. God brought them here, but I'm merely a vessel to guide them in becoming who He had designed them to be. So, firstly, I want them to remember me as somebody who really walked the journey with them and really supported them and guided them, you know, and also do the same for other girls, for young girls. I've got this project that's, I don't want to say
You've packed it.
permanently packed, but it's there. It's called Pink Pals. It's
Okay.
supposed to be a leadership program for girls. I keep on saying, okay, Lord, when are we starting Pink Pals? I think I'm ready, you know. But I want to work with
why
girls.
are you not starting it?
Because I'm going to start.
Because the best way to start is just to start. Like,
I know
today.
Because I would really love to an extension of how I parent my kids. I would really love to see it, and also, you know, as parents sometimes we are ignorant, or we don't really understand what girls are going through. You know, we are still trying to parent the way our parents parented us.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not working. Yes, it's not the way to go.
Okay.
So,
I know you haven't started this Pink Pulse, or you're still thinking about Pink Pulse, but if it was here and you were starting today, what is it about, or what is your vision about it?
It is about helping girls, or helping them develop leadership skills, but mainly it's about them finding who they are and helping them, journeying with them to becoming that which God had created them. I'm a firm believer that we are here, we have purposes, different purposes. So for me, I cannot expect an iron to warm water. You use a kettle to boil water, and you use the iron to iron your clothes. So I believe even with us, God wired us differently for a reason.
Yes.
So for me, I find it frustrating to take a creative and then say to them, go study medicine. So my desire is to help them identify, number one, they must know who they are and not find validation out there in boys and men. They must know who they are.
Okay.
And number two, then once they know who they are, we help them develop those skills or their strengths, and then guide them into that which, what God has deposited, let it come out.
Okay.
That's what.
Wow. No, we're starting. It sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're starting. Okay, what are the 2 lessons that you've learned from life that you would like to share?
Okay, 2 lessons. Learn to be quiet about your dreams, your vision. Have your own inner circle, or even not even an inner circle. Or let me rephrase. Learn to protect your dream, your vision.
But how?
You don't share with everybody. Not everybody will understand who you are. Even your siblings even your parents may not understand who you are.
Okay.
Yes. So learn to protect that. If it means you don't share a lot about what you're doing, then you do that. Find people that understand, that are on the same journey with you. You journey with them. but you're not completely closing these ones out. But you know, you learn to share. You learn to know who to share what with who. Yes. So
Okay, but what is the downside of sharing that vision that you have?
don't share too much. Don't share too much, because people will say, "Oh, this one, now she was doing this. Now she's doing this." It's just like back in the day,
To surprise them.
they used to say, "Uti, you don't say you are pregnant. You don't tell people you are pregnant, especially in your first trimesters and until it starts showing."
Okay.
Yes. So such is your dreams, your vision as well, because you will kill it in the process, and you might find replicas of what you said you wanted to do.
And that is true, eh?
Yes.
That
So
is
learn
true.
to not share, just know who to share with who, what, and
Because I'm listening to you and I'm hearing you, I understand you completely. But I'm thinking now, with the age of social media, people are always sharing. They are like on their phone sharing this, sharing that, and they even call themselves sharers. And I'm thinking, yeah,
is it a thing?
there is a word.
Sharist?
Yes.
Wow.
It's people who
One
share
thing-
everything about their life.
One thing
Like,
about this generation, I was saying to my daughter, you know what? One thing about you guys, you have a name for everything.
yeah, they're sharers.
So now sharist is a thing.
That's why they're smiling.
So
Yes.
I really did not know that sharist was a thing. But
Mm.
even then, even I know some people, they love to share their lives with other people. But even in there, learn to keep some things to yourself. I mean, I'm a very private person. I love sitting in my corner, living my life there in my corner with my kids. Yes, I do have friends, but I don't go out a lot. I really, really love my space. And
Oh,
I've
wow.
learned, I used to tell people, I used to share, oh, yes, this is what I'm thinking of doing. But I've had to learn to, you keep it until it's time to reveal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so even with sharist boundaries.
Was that the
was
second?
one.
Oh, there was one. Okay, I thought maybe I forgot another
Yeah,
one.
and another one, find who you are and embrace who you are.
Okay.
If there's anything you don't like, work on it. But find who you are.
Okay.
And learn to embrace and love that person.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I am speechless. You gave us two profound advices, but anything that you would like to share with everybody out there that maybe you haven't spoken about, that you just wanna throw in there?
I can't think of anything. Yeah, I can't think of anything. Or maybe what I can say to somebody out there, if they're going through any struggles, hang in there. It is all part of the plot. That's what I can say. Part of the plot, mommy. Apparently, it's a thing as well. Part of the plot, yes.
Okay.
It is just part of your journey.
Wow. There you have it. I don't even know what to say. I think I am speechless. So keep your dreams and keep them close until they're out there. And if you're going through difficulties, that's Zimkhitha. If you're going through difficulties, it's part of life, but it's going to be over soon. And that was our episode of Women in Leadership with Vee and with Zimkhitha. And thank you so much for watching this episode. And this episode was brought to you by Diversity SA. Diversity SA is a management consulting company in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Share our video, like us, subscribe. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.